So to add on to what Sam said, this country was founded on racism, and that's undisputable. I think, and when we talk about the transatlantic slave trade, that's when the idea of race was created. It was used to justify why you're dehumanizing, animalizing, and the way you treat other people.
皆さんこんにちは、ソロです。というわけで今回の動画はペンシルベニア大学の授業の切り抜きをまた持ってきました。この動画ではどんな質問でもしていいよっていう講義の中で、アメリカではどうしてここまで人種の問題が大きいのかっていうことをね、議論しているものになります。民族の話であったり、インド人の見解や賢い黒人男性のお話がとても参考になったので、ぜひ見ていってください。そしてこのチャンネルではこういったような議論ができそうな興味深い内容のものを月曜日と金曜日に、そして思わず笑ってしまうような面白い動画を水曜日に翻訳して配信したりしています。そういった動画はね、見逃したくないよとか、このチャンネルをね、応援したくないよって人は今のうちにチャンネル登録よろしくお願いします。それでは早速行ってみよう。
My name is Vivek, and the question which I had was, why is race such a big issue in America? In the rest of the world, it's not as big an issue.
What? Why is race a big issue?
In America, in the
日
rest
本
of
だ
the
と
world,
特
it's
に
not
ね、
as big an issue.
Okay, because look, there are two things that happened here that we're still dealing with. This is actually a really cool question. Where are you from in India, by the way? South India. Okay, so listen.
South.
Why is race still a big issue here? Because this is where, in the Americas, is where we had the longest lasting, most extensive genocide in human history against Native Americans. And we've never come to terms with that. And, you know, to this day, if you ask Americans how many tribes there are and how many Native Americans is, many people think they don't even exist anymore and so on, right? And do you know how many tribes there are in the United States? Federally recognized tribes? Take a guess.
Federally recognized or totally?
Federally recognized tribes.
2,000?
2,000? Pair up really fast. How many tribes? With your neighbor, how many tribes do you think there are federally recognized? How many, bro?
40.
40.
200.
How many?
200.
200. How many?
I don't know.
What?
6, 7.
6, 7? Bro, how many, man?
100.
How many?
150.
150, bro.
Less than 500.
Less than 500.
About 1,000.
1,000. What do you think?
Like 300.
300?
Less than 100.
You know, this is really fascinating. Bro, because you started with 2,000, the numbers get really inflated. Because when we ask people this question, and we give them a bunch of numbers, and we start at 3, and we go to 3 and 7 and 50 and so on and so forth, the average answer will be like 15. But since you started with so many, the average answers start to go up. The answer is over almost 600, right? So, bro.
そうなんや。
What's
多い
that?
ね。
566. Yeah. Yeah.
One of the most recent was actually Pocahontas' tribe, which we all know her, one of the last to be recognized by the U.S. federal government.
So what we see. So one of the issues is the longest lasting genocide in human history took place here, and it's most extensive. Like in terms of the numbers of people and in terms of how long it lasted, and human beings are still trying to deal with that. The second issue is slavery, which we've never been able to deal with. Do you want to respond to the Native American thing? Because I'm going to talk about it. Yeah.
Also, to add on to what Sam said, this country was founded on racism, and that's undisputable. I think, and when we talk about the transatlantic slave trade, that's when the idea of race was created. It was used to justify why you're dehumanizing, animalizing, and the way you treat other people. And I think, you know, when we talk about the founding of this country and the U.S. Constitution, is written in the fabric of America. And I think, you know, other places don't have these problems because other places didn't have civil rights movements like we did in America, which tried to address that issue. But it's something that is constantly evolving because the idea of race changes based on where you're at. Like when Irish
So,
people came here, they weren't considered white until after a while, or when people from Italians either. So I think that is very complex, and I think you have to look at slavery and understand why race was created in the first place.
Dude, do you want to add to that? What's your name, bro?
It's Arsh.
Arsh.
Another thing I want to I'm from India too, and one of the big things like
Hold the mic close.
India's
Turn around toward the mic so people, toward the camera. Wait, step this way, back up, so people in back can see your smiling face.
So India's a new country. They only gained their independence in
そうなんや。
yeah
Yeah.
1947.
Dude, he's like busy, you know what I mean? Yeah, okay, go ahead.
そうだね。
So when India broke up and what became what is now Pakistan, there were genocides between Hindus and Muslims and Sikhs. Both sides were just killing each other. It was a big thing, and India's come to terms with that. They've acknowledged it already. In 1984, there were anti-Sikh riots. Just a couple of months ago, India apologized for that. They accepted it. So I think that's why, like, at least for India, race isn't as huge of an issue. But
確かに。
in the U.S., like, trust me, I love this country because I see the potential in it, and I can compare it to India. But in the U.S., the war on drugs, you know, the war on black people, the war on drugs, slavery. There's so many issues that have just not been talked about by our government. You know, even today, the war on drugs just keeps capturing, well, targeting a specific race of people, and it's just not. You know, there's so many issues that aren't coming out to light because the government doesn't bring them out to light. And for me personally, when I compare India and the U.S., I think that's why race is such a big deal here. You know, my family asks me the same question all the time. And I think,
How is it
そうなんや。
Yeah, how is it?
というわけでいかがだったでしょうか。先生の言ってた通り、問題は2つで、先住民族の虐殺をしてきたっていうことと、奴隷制度があったからっていうことでね、短い中でもだいぶ分かりやすい内容になってたかなというふうに思いました。賢い黒人男性の言う通り、郷に行っては郷に従えではないですけど、こう、アメリカに行ったら、人種差別の問題とかね、なんなりね、あると思うので、まずはね、歴史を知ってくださいみたいな感じなんですかね。まあ、それをすることによって、その国をもっとね、知ることができますし、それがね、話題になって、で、友達とかもね、できたりすると思うので、留学をね、しようと思ってる人であったり、これからしようと思ってる人にはね、結構いい動画になってたかなというふうに思います。ぜひ、この動画のね、感想や意見等をコメント欄にてお待ちしております。というわけで、今回の動画は以上です。この動画がね、少しでも面白かったよとか、僕の動画作りのモチベーションになるので、高評価よろしくお願いいたします。そして、このチャンネルでは議論ができそうな興味深い内容のものを月曜日と金曜日に、そして思わず笑ってしまうような面白い動画を水曜日に翻訳して配信したりしています。そういったような動画を見逃したくないよとか、現在700人と小規模なんですけど、このチャンネルをね、応援してくれる人は今のうちにチャンネル登録よろしくお願いします。というわけで、今回もありがとうございました。また次回の動画で会いましょう。バイ。